up, guys? So now that 2020 is officially behind us, it's that time of the year where literally every film and TV vlogger out there does top 10 lists of what they watched during the year. I've already done my top 10 movies of 2020. I'll pop a link up here if you guys want to watch that. But now it's time for me to talk about the TV that I watched in 2020. And because of the COVID pandemic, I've actually watched a lot more TV than I usually do each year. So I actually have enough beloved TV shows that I watched this year to do a top 10 list. So I thought, why not? I do have a couple rules in order to qualify for this list. Firstly, the TV series needs to have been released at least in part during 2020. My second rule is I have to have seen it. Those are my rules, simple as. I haven't seen all the TV in 2020, but I have seen a great deal. But please remember, this is just my top 10 TV shows of the year. This list is subjective, it's one bloke's opinion, but please do let me know your top 10 TV series of the year in that comment section down below. All right, let's go. So kicking off the list at number 10, we have the first season of Canada's Drag Race. 2020 took a lot away from us, but the one thing that there was no shortage of this year was Drag Race. And thank you, Mother, for providing us with so much needed campy escapism during lockdown. We had Drag Race Season 12, we had All Stars 5, we even had a celebrity Drag Race, but the one which I loved the most was the premiere season of Canada's Drag Race, which, like Drag Race UK, proved that the format can work in any country, and also there is so much talent out there waiting to be discovered. Despite its obvious first season growing pains, Canada's Drag Race was one of the most talked about TV shows of the year, partly because of its bonkers judging, mainly Jeffrey Bojack and his questionable critiques, but it made it even juicier. But again, what made it work so well was the quality of the contestants. Rita Baga, Scarlett Bobo, Lemon, fan favorite Jimbo, and what's her name? Priyanka! Lemon, not gonna make it to the end. Canada's first season of Drag Race was what the gays were talking about, and I cannot wait for season 2. It's my special day! Next up at number 9, we have a limited series on Hulu and Amazon Prime, Little Fires Everywhere. A bit of a sleeper hit series, but it certainly had its fans. Ben and I binged all 8 episodes of it in like the space of a weekend. While its ending was a little bit of a wobble, Little Fires Everywhere was a delicious slice of melodrama with a really intriguing premise as to who burnt down the Richardson house. The acting in this series is sublime. Kerry Washington, Reese Witherspoon, Jade Pettyjohn, Lexi Underwood, Rosemary DeWitt, Lu Huang, and Megan Stott, all phenomenal. It's worth watching for the acting alone. The series is set in the 90s, so you can see why I loved it, but it also explores class, motherhood, identity, and white privilege. It's really worth checking out if you haven't seen it. At number 8, we have the first of several Netflix series in this countdown, and it is season 4 of The Crown. While it's not my favorite season of The Crown, season 4 was still a really good watch, mainly because of the arrival of 2 highly anticipated female characters, the Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, played by Gillian Anderson, and Princess Diana, played by Emily Corrin, and their additions did not disappoint. It was really exciting to see the first female Prime Minister clash horns with the Queen herself, played by Olivia Colman, and it was also a joy to watch Princess Diana done right for a change, splendidly performed by Corrin. She really captured her grace, shyness, beauty, and also the handling of her bulimia is done really well. And it was also quite heartbreaking to watch the decaying of her marriage to Prince Charles, played by Josh O'Connor. I really enjoyed season 4, and I cannot wait for season 5. Bring on Imelda Staunton. If you guys want to follow me on any social media, Twitter, Instagram, or Letterboxd, all those links in that video description down below. Moving on, next at number 7, we have season 2 of HBO's Succession. Succession is one of those series where you really have to push through to get to the good stuff. And by push through, I mean push through season 1, because season 2 is where it really finds its footing. It's a show that's really hard to like at first, because literally all of its ensemble of characters are kind of awful. Seriously, everyone in this is an egotistical asshole who's looking out for themselves. But that's kind of the unique selling point of Succession. Once you're on board, you can watch this messed up family of super rich, entitled, narcissistic jerks backstab, lie, manipulate, double-cross and betray each other. There's great drama here because the characters are complex and the loyalties are constantly in flux. 2 seasons in and I'm still not sure if I actually like any of the characters, but it's sure as hell entertaining to watch the lifestyles of the rich and the famous. I wasn't surprised it won Best Drama at the Emmys. If you guys haven't seen it, I do encourage you to watch it. At number 6, we have a late entry, but it has been a winter binger for many a household. It's the Netflix limited series from Scott Frank, The Queen's Gambit. As someone who doesn't know the first thing about chess, this fictional limited series on Netflix about a chess progeny called Beth, who's played by Anya Taylor-Joy, was so exhilarating. The 7-episode series based off the book by Walter Tevis is a bit predictable. It hits all the beats that you would expect a story about a young progeny mastering their craft to hit. It really is a rise, fall, rise series with some obstacles for our protagonist Beth to face, like the preconceived notions of her gender, substance abuse, trauma, and the line between genius and madness. It's very predictable, but the execution is just brilliant. The costumes, God, I could talk for like an hour about the costumes alone, but oh my God, Anya Taylor-Joy just wears the hell out of these outfits. She just looks stunning in this show. I also loved the soundtrack as well. It had so many classic bangers. Never has chess been so badass. Okay, so coming in at number 5, we have another limited series which Glenn and I devoured on BBC iPlayer. It's Mrs. America. This 9-episode series is set across the 1970s and looks at the women's liberation movement and the battle over the Equal Rights Amendment Bill. And this was such gripping TV. It's such a well-shot series. It's such a beautiful looking show, and it features some phenomenal female talent doing some of their best work. You've got Kate Blanchett, Elizabeth Banks, Uzo Aduba, Rose Byrne, Sarah Paulson, Tracy Ullman, Ari Grainer, and of course, character actress Margot Martindale. This series really opened my eyes to the female struggle for equality, which still plagues America to this day. And what I loved about the show is that it does a really good job of justifying why each side feels the way that they do. It presents both sides of the argument, so it does feel quite well balanced. It's also got a great soundtrack. The setting and costumes are exquisite. Honestly, I'm surprised more people aren't talking about Mrs. America. If you guys are enjoying this video, please do help me out by hitting that like button. If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars content, be sure to click subscribe, turn on that bell if you want the notifications, and be sure to let me know what your top 10 favorite TV shows of 2020 were in that comment section down below. Coming in at number 4, we have the final chapter of Raphael Bob Waxberg's profoundly deep show, Bojack Horseman. Few TV shows, let alone animated TV shows, offer as much insight about the human condition as Bojack Horseman does. This zany cartoon might look like fun escapism, which it is, but it also has so much to say about depression, guilt, addiction, self-sabotage, celebrity culture. It's a show which doesn't offer any easy solutions or happy endings. It feels very adult, like it captures that feeling of existential crisis that you feel as an adult. And there's something about Bojack Horseman which I as an adult have found wonderfully comforting. Despite being set in a fictional world full of human and animal hybrids, Bojack Horseman and all the other characters feel so relatable and real. Out of all the adult animated shows there are, Bojack Horseman is the one which speaks to me on the most deepest level. In season 6 part 2, just at the moment where it seemed where Bojack was getting his life in order, all of his skeletons and past sins come back to get him. This season really was the fallout of all his past transgressions, but also the path to redemption. Bojack has always been a show that has balanced the heavy themes with witty humor, and despite the ending being a little bit divisive, it was still very true to what Bojack Horseman was, and rather than aiming on a note of nihilism, it actually aimed for a note of hope. It left Bojack and the viewers in a place of hopeful ambivalence. When I watched the finale, I wasn't sure if I was completely sold on it, but the more time that I've had to distance myself from it and reflect on it, the more I actually realize how it was the perfect ending for this series. So few TV shows know when to actually finish, but Bojack Horseman nailed it. Or maybe I should say, he nailed it. No, I shouldn't say that. Coming in at number 3, we have the criminally underrated series Better Call Saul and its 5th season, which set the stage for the downfall of one of its greatest characters. I'm not gonna say who, but we all know it ain't Jimmy. Vince Gilligan, you pulled a fast one on us there. It baffles me that the prequel series to Breaking Bad, which has the same quality of writing and acting as Breaking Bad, doesn't get the same adulation and hype as Breaking Bad. This show is so freaking good. Why are not more people going crazy over it? Yes, I know it is a slow burn series, but its payoff is so immensely satisfying. The character development of Jimmy becoming Saul, and you've got Mike and Kim, it's all so delicious. And it boils my blood that none of them got any Emmy nominations for their work for season 5. Robbed. The last 3 episodes of season 5, Bagman, Bad Choice Road, and Something Unforgivable, are some of the most nail-biting and expertly directed episodes of TV ever made. If you're a die-hard Breaking Bad fan and you haven't watched Better Call Saul, what is wrong with you? Better Call Saul is a spin-off which stands on its own merits. Give it a chance, guys. At number 2, we have another sleeper hit series on Netflix which feels inspired by Breaking Bad but completely is its own thing, and it is Ozark, season 3. Few TV series get better and better with each passing series. Honestly, Breaking Bad is probably the only TV show where I actually think it got consistently better as it went along. And Ozark, the show about a money laundering family, the Bird family, hiding away in the Ozarks, is a member of that exclusive club. This show is gorgeously shot, supremely well acted, with complex, fascinating characters, which show up the versatility of the actors playing them. Jason Bateman, Julia Garner, and of course, my favorite, Laura Linney, who I think hijacked season 3. Also, special mention to Tom Pelphrey, who played Wendy's bipolar brother Ben, one of the best guest performances of 2020, and again, was robbed of an Emmy nomination. Yes, I am bitter. While I understand why Succession won Best Drama Series, my vote would have been for Ozark Season 3. I kept waiting for an episode of Ozark Season 3 to dip in quality, but it just never came. Every episode is so masterfully thought out. It's gripping, it's tense, it's just top-notch quality entertainment. If you guys haven't watched Ozark, I implore you to watch it. A few honorable mentions of some TV shows which I enjoyed but didn't quite make it into my top 10 of 2020 are RuPaul's Drag Race Season 12, RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 5, The Good Place for its final season, The Mandalorian, Tiger King, and Modern Family for its final season. If there's any TV shows which I haven't mentioned in my top 10 that you think I should watch, please do let me know in that comment section down below. So coming in at number 1, my favorite TV show of 2020 goes to a little Canadian sitcom which took the world by storm. It's Dan Levy's 6th and final season of the beloved comedy show Schitt's Creek. So Glenn and I discovered Schitt's Creek in lockdown. It was our lockdown show. We heard great things about it from our friends, and we liked that the episodes were only 20 minutes apiece. It was nice and light, and it didn't require too much of us. We actually consumed all 6 seasons of this show in 2020, and we were very careful not to binge it, because the episodes were so short. We really wanted to take our time with it, so we watched 1 episode a night with dinner every night, and it was such a comfort show whilst we were in lockdown, because as the series progressed, we fell in love with these characters. And that's the best thing about Schitt's Creek, the character growth. The show at first starts out as a fish out of water comedy series, but it slowly blossoms into something so much more special than that. The development for all of the Rose family is so satisfying and rewarding, and I'm so glad that Dan Levy knew when to stop the series. He actually chose to finish the series during the peak of Creek's popularity. He could have milked it for all it's worth, but no, he decided to end it when he thought it was the right time. And season 6 is the perfect send-off for the characters and the series. In season 6, we saw Johnny and his next plans for the motel business, Moira and her hilarious debut of the Crows movie, as well as the tender cherry on top of the series, which was the final episode, and that was David and Patrick's wedding. It was just the perfect combination of laughter, heart, and such a bittersweet goodbye. I loved falling in love with the show in 2020. I will forever associate Schitt's Creek as the series which kept me amused, distracted, and feeling good during this really dark time that the world was going through in 2020. And when it went on to sweep the Emmys for its final season, with the cast winning all 4 of the acting categories as a family, and also winning Best Comedy Series to boot, it was just a fairy tale ending for the show. Schitt's Creek has brought so much joy to the world, and in my opinion, it was the show of 2020, and it makes sense why it comes in at number 1. I am going to miss this show so much. But there we go, guys. Those were my top 10 TV shows of 2020. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? What would make it into your top 10 TV shows of last year? Let me know in that comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars videos, don't forget to click subscribe. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Airfield, and I'll see you next time.